Morning, folks. We have Captain Ithano who came to the game, or to the holo tables, I should say, yesterday. This Stingray slash Power Rangers guy, who I don't really even know who he is. Not important. He's got his typical Ascension bundle. He has his classic 2 and 3 money bundles. Those 2 and 3, those $30 and 75 bundles are pretty much always the same. The Ascension bundles do slightly differ from character to character, some better, some worse. This particular one reminds me of the CX2 Ascension bundle that we got way back when, which I actually believe was the first of the Ascensions that targeted new character shards. I made a Reddit post about it. I made a video about it. I was very, very, very excited about how good it looked. This one looks to be very similar. We're going to talk about a couple of different scenarios for that bundle after the intro. Okay, so like I said, we have the Ascension bundle down here. No free shard in the beginning. Not really that big of a deal. And primarily, it looks like we are targeting signal data as well as Chirotech and Omicrons. There are some Zetas in here. There are some Omegas in here. I don't think it's anything to write home about. It's nothing that would really sway my spending decision. But just at first glance, it looks like a pretty strong bundle. We are getting 50, 70, 80, 85 total shards of the 145 shards that you would need in order to max this character at the end of the week. Now, there is, of course, also the Captain Ithano bundle too, which is going to come with 30 shards and 5 Omicrons. And it'll open up the third bundle, right? The first bundle being the, I guess, regular bundles. This thing, the booster pack. This one. I don't know. I have no idea. The third bundle for $75 is going to give you another 100 shards or 130 of the 145 character shards that you will need, as well as 20 Zetas, a full battle computer, and I'm pretty sure it's a full power converter. It might be a full shock prod. I'm not 100% certain, but in terms of value, it is 2 full Chirotech pieces. We'll talk about the breakdowns of that in just a second. The way that I see this is that if you are looking just to get the shards, if your goal is just shards, I want to get this character, I want to get him to 7 stars after this event is done. I think that this particular bundle, the bundle 2 and the bundle 3, it's going to be more expensive overall, but it's going to get you there on the easier route. However, if you are looking for overall value and just getting this guy as high as you can, and then maybe burning crystals towards the end and getting some marquee packs, you can't go wrong with this Ascension. And we'll actually pull up the value charts and kind of show you what we are talking about. The royal we, of course, because I am a singular person. Here we go. So we're going to pull up my value chart. Captain Ithano Ascension Bundle. Now, there's a lot going on here, so just bear with me. For the Ascension Bundle, just right off of the bat at that first tier, we are looking at a 63% increase in value. So not bad if you just want to spend $5, but realistically, I see no reason to really buy these Ascensions unless you are planning on going all of the way, right? If you think about it, and we go to that 1899 tier, down here, tier 5 and 6, you are getting enough shards to be able to bring him to 4 stars, and getting about 151% increase in value. However, you're not, if you're doing that, you might as well just get the episode pass. Now, I have not updated the episode pass from last time yet. I'll do that later today, but just to kind of give you an idea of the value that we're talking about with the episode pass, just the things specifically from the pass itself. We're not talking about the extra currency you get from GCs. We are looking at roughly a 730% increase in value, and that's valuing that episode currency as a zero, as opposed to giving it a real solid concrete value, which I haven't been able to really figure out or pinpoint would be the best way. So the way that I see this is, if you are just looking to get to that 18.99 20 shard value pack, you might as well just buy the current episode pass. When we look at the total value of this Ascension going down to tier 7 to 9, right, we are getting a 232% increase in value. 85 shards, Omegas, a bunch of signal data, Zetas, a ton of Chirotech, injector handles, Omicrons, and credits, though we value those credits at zero. I will remind you at this point that when we talk about the shard value of Captain Ithano, because of those packs where you can buy the surge packs, you can get 5 or I think it's 12. We value the current character just slightly less than we normally would. Now, if you're in the mid game looking to whale on pirates, this is an insane deal. But of course, there are people in my position, lots of people in my position, who don't really need a lot of the things in this pack. And good news, Daddy Egnards has you covered here, right? We also have over on the left, hidden right now and won't be in a second, another value sheet. Right, we're actually going to zoom in because I know I wasn't zoomed in before. This is just targeting the shards, the signal data, the Zetas, and the Omicrons, okay? The credits I left there because we are valuing them as a zero anyway. It doesn't really matter, but we're getting rid of the Omegas. We're getting rid of the Chirotech. I don't need either of those things as an end game player. And when I look at that value increase, I'm no longer getting a 232% increase in value. I am, however, getting $178 in value off of an $85 cost. My value increase is about 110%. That is pretty good. That's about what we can expect from a normal Ascension. I believe that is roughly what we get from the Signal Data Ascension, which is a favorite pack of mine. I would have to go back and check. Definitely a strong buy if you are in the market for something like this. If you're not, if you're free to play, you're a casual spender, if you're someone who, like myself, is going to start farming these guys as they become available, obviously we don't want to drop that $85. Great, cool, wonderful. Now, the other question here is, does it make more sense to buy the other bundle pack, which we have up here on the right? Right? If we purchase just the bundle 2, we're not seeing a crazy increase in value, about 33% with those 5 Omicrons on there. And if I buy the bundle 3, I get a full Zeta, which is nice. Once again, I'm getting a full battle computer and a full power converter. Maybe it's a shock prod. I can't look at the bundle in-game. I can only look at screenshots that people send. Pretty sure it's a power converter. We're seeing an overall increase in value of 76.86%. Now, just like I did before on that other pack, if I take out these Chirotech for a late game player, we're actually only looking at about a 44.53% increase in value. Now, here's the thing. In your monkey brain, it may click to say, wait a second, it just makes more sense to get that Ascension bundle no matter what. The value is better. And what I would say to that is that it highly depends on what your goal is, right? It's kind of like buying a buy one, get one 50% off at the grocery store, where you only need one of the thing and the other thing is just going to go to waste, right? If I buy both of them, I may be saving money. That's girl math for you. But reality is I'm spending more money. So Again, if your goal is primarily let me get this character to those 145 shards, this is going to be the easiest way to do it, especially if you're also buying the episode pass, because that is 20 shards right there. That'll get you to the 145 you need at a total cost of $125, right? Not really, for me, too rich for my blood, but if that is who you are, then by all means go for it. This Ascension bundle, you are going to get that 85 or 105 if you are, again, purchasing the episode pass for a total of $104 with the episode pass. But you're only getting 105 out of the 145 shards you'll need. So you'll need to make up 40 of those shards on the back end by purchasing the crystal packs. You will be seeing an overall increase in your value. You will be getting the signal data, the zetas, the omicrons. Awesome, great, love it. The choice is yours. If I had to choose, I'd rather spend a little bit less money. I'd rather spend the 85 and get those signal data. As players at my level of the game know, that is something that hurts every single day, especially with the raid and the raid splits and having to bring characters to Relic 9. Now, with all of that said, I want you to consider what your overall goal is for this raid and for this character. As this is the first new pirate and the first pirate with a leadership ability, he is really the least important character overall in order to get GL Hondo. If I will be personally purchasing 5 marquee packs, the 5-pack Surge pack, in order to finish up Ithano at 58 out of 65 by the end of his event, so that I can take part in both tiers of the era battles, and so that I can get him farming as soon as possible once he is available. He will be available just like Apple was, just like the characters before, like Omega was, before we actually need him, right? So spending $100, $130 to me doesn't seem necessarily feasible here. With that said, with this raid, we've seen some pretty crazy things already. We have seen the clones team being split into 2 teams and still being able to hit tier 7 on the raid for max Relic 9 points times 2. We have seen Vanguard splits that allow very similar outcomes. So 3.6 times 2. This is a team that in the super endgame isn't really needed right now. Is it possible that Ithano and Hondo by themselves maybe are going to be able to complete that tier? Maybe, I have no idea. Talk to people on the raid server whether they think that's going to be feasible or not. I honestly doubt it, but again, I'm going to question whether or not it would be even needed, right? Whether or not it makes sense. We already have players in that area of the game who are pushing scores of 18 million. Do they need a pirate team? Not necessarily. So while I do think the value here is a huge, huge, huge buy, I would really stress that you consider whether or not the purchase itself is as worth it as you think it is at first glance. With all of that said, I can't make the decisions for you. That is all your choice. Just make an informed decision. And with that said, peace out. Have a great day.